Welcome to Canadian Times. This week in the news, Trudeau has brought forward his transgender bill, C16, and it is nebulous and reckless, and we have grave concerns over this proposed bill. First of all, I want to set the record clear. We all recognize that there are people who have gender dysphoria, and they question their gender, they try to change their gender, and unfortunately, they experience higher levels of personal difficulties, and they are in need of care. In fact, statistics show that up to 40% of such people, they then attempt suicide. They need to be cared for. They need to be loved, not ridiculed, not attacked. And I applaud people who assist them, because they are souls that God loves and they are in need of help. But Prime Minister Trudeau has brought forward an ill-conceived bill, Bill C16, to change the Human Rights Act of Canada and the Criminal Code of Canada to make it a criminal offense, yes, a criminal offense, to speak against gender dysphoria or transgender. Welcome to Canadian Times. This week in the news, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announces at the Gay Pride Parade that he will seek a reduction in the age of consent of anal sex down to 16. Yes, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau wants to reduce the age of consent for homosexuality down to 16. Now, why is he doing this? Is he doing this because 16-year-olds are getting charged for practicing anal sex? No. This is for the comfort of adults who want to have sex with children as young as 16 years of age. Yes, the age of consent for general sex used to be 14. But thanks to you and me, and we led a campaign across this country and had several 100,000 people sign petitions to raise the age of consent of sex. And thankfully, the then Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, he put forward a bill that increased the age of consensual sex from 14 to 16. But this did not include anal sex. Why? Because anal sex is very, very dangerous. Anal sex brings danger that a child cannot choose to bring upon himself. If an adult wants to do that, the law is there. They can knock themselves out. That's up to them. But for children, this is outrageous. And by the way, as a side note, Prime Minister Trudeau announces this, and guess what? The silence of the leader of the opposition, Rona Ambrose, is deafening. Why? Because she was marching in that same parade. She's marching for the same ideals of the Liberal Party. She's turning the Conservative Party into the party of liberal light. Her silence is definitely tacit consent. And when this becomes a bill, you watch how quickly it races through Parliament with her tacit consent as they bring further harm to children in this country. Yes, in 2008, we fought to have it raised from 14 to 16. And thankfully, Prime Minister Stephen Harper even threatened the Liberal Party with calling an election if their Senate did not pass this bill. Thankfully, it became law in 2008, but now the gay community wants to reduce the age of anal sex down to the age of 16 so that adults can have sex with children as young as C16, anal sex with children. Why is this such a problem? Because it is so dangerous, according to the Canadian Rainbow Health Coalition. This is the gay community spokesman. They said, and I'll give you some of their statistics, life expectancy for gay and bisexual men is 20 years less than the average Canadian man. So why would you want to reduce the age of anal sex, something that violates nature, something that is just filthy to begin with? Just the mix of what happens during anal sex is filthy. So why would you want to bring this down to children? If it's going to reduce their life expectancy 20 years. And remember, this is not me speaking. This is the Rainbow Health Coalition. The suicide rates are up to 14 times greater than the general population for those who practice anal sex. Smoking rates, 1.3 to 3 times higher. Alcoholism, 1.4 times to 7 times higher. 700% increase. Use of illicit drugs, 1.6 to 19 times higher. Yes, 19 times higher. Depression rates up to 3 times higher. In fact, 76% of AIDS cases in Canada are that of homosexual men, most of which are practicing sodomy, practicing anal sex. The HIV infections, 45% of all new HIV infections. There is a higher risk of lung cancer, liver cancer for gay and bisexual men. Why? Because this is a practice that violates nature. And children should not be invited legally to participate in this. This is an outrage, and we must stand up, because we know that there is no opposition leader right now who will stand up. So that opposition needs to be you. It needs to be me. And I invite you to go to CanadianTimes.ca and sign those petitions to call Ron Ambrose and tell the Conservative Party that you're not going to donate to them as they give tacit consent to violate the children of this country. This is outrageous. It needs to be met with outrage, and I encourage you to rise up with rage. Not violence, not anger, but rage on behalf of children, because we cannot offer our little children in this country for their fodder. This must not pass, and I believe that action by you and me can stop it.
Please like, comment, and subscribe.